Last week it was Alien Day, and I really like Alien Day and alien movies, so I thought let's talk about two aliens that are quite famous. Hello everybody, I'm Jay Mere and welcome back to my channel. And this time I want to do a ranking video, and this time a more special ranking video, because normally when I do a ranking video I rank a franchise from worst to best. This time I want to do a little bit different. I want to rank two franchises in one ranking video. And seeing last week was Alien Day, I thought why not do a combined ranking of both the Alien franchise with our Xenomorph and the Predator movie with the Predator, of course. So I thought that was gonna be interesting to do. And last week it was Alien Day and I really like alien movies, so I thought why not? So guys, I'm gonna do a combined ranking of the Alien movies and the Predator movies. And this is quite gonna be a ranking, maybe the largest ranking I have done so far, because both the Alien franchise and the Predator franchise, they have each 7 movies, and then they have 2 combined movies, the crossover movies, Aliens vs Predator. These are both loved as sometimes even hated, so very interesting. And I also want to include the first season of Alien Earth. So the Xenomorph already has a television show, and I want to include that first season as well in this ranking. So it's going to be 17 titles we have to cover in this ranking video. So quite a lot, so let's get to it. And before I want to start, let's just say I love both of these franchises. If you have to ask me which is your favorite, are you more an Alien fan or more a Predator fan? And that really depends on the day, guys. Sometimes I think, yeah, Alien franchise is the best. Other days I say, no, it's the Predator franchise. That's the real awesome franchise. But honestly, I love them both. So hence why I'm gonna do a combined ranking video. And I know I have covered the Alien movies already in another ranking video. Not much has changed since then, except for one title revised a little bit in the ranking. But the Predator movies are quite new. That's the first time I'm gonna rank them. So let's get to the ranking. So for my last place, there was a little competition between 2 titles, honestly. The one frustrated me more, the other disappointed me more. So which one I'm gonna put last? And I have to go with Alien 3. And this is the movie that really frustrates me a lot. There are things that I like in this movie, not much. Mostly I like the look of the film. This movie is actually quite beautiful to look at. But story-wise, there are a lot of elements that really frustrates me. Like how they started this movie, going on with the end of Aliens, and how they did the transition to this movie. That was just really stupid. Also, when you really like a character, one of the new ones in this movie, they kill him off quite soon. And there are some really frustrating parts in this movie, like the whole plan of how they're gonna catch the Xenomorph. I think that was just stupid. So I watch it from time to time, but I never really quite like watching this movie. And number 16 is the movie that disappointed me the most, and that's The Predator. This is not a good movie. There are a lot of disappointments in this movie. I was really looking forward to it when it came out in 2018, but no, the movie did not do it for me. I really despised this movie when I first saw it, and I thought it was one of the worst movies I ever saw. But last year I did a second watch of it, and now that I knew what was going to happen, I thought it was okay. There were some elements in this movie that I thought were entertaining, but in general, The Predator is not a good movie. At number 15, we have probably the movie that most will place on the last place, and that's Alien vs Predator Requiem. This is one of the 2 crossover movies, the sequel to be precise, and I actually like this movie. The movie has some problems with brightness, with some characters, but all in all it's a very entertaining movie, very gory as well, and as a Predator fan I especially like this movie. The Xenomorphs are not really that interesting in this movie, but the Predator, I believe the Predator in this movie is called Wolf. His entire storyline was just awesome, and that's the saving grace of this movie, honestly. Number 14, and to know, with the exception of the last two, I kinda like all these movies I'm gonna talk about now. Number 14, we have Prometheus. And it is more a movie that I respect more than I actually really like. Also, not a lot of alien action, xenomorph action, but that was not really the point of this movie. And the first time I saw Prometheus, I did not really understand what was the goal of the point of this movie. Quite an ambitious story, not fully on board on what they were going to do, but there are certainly interesting story elements. Also characters like Elizabeth Shaw and what was his name, David, they were very interesting, and a very awesome third act. Alright, at number 13 we have Predators, and this movie I really loved when it came out. I was like 12 years old when Predators came out in theaters. I did not saw it in theaters, but I watched this movie over and over back in 2010. I adored this movie. But now, when I do a rewatch of Predators, I'm more thinking of like, this movie, even though it quite holds up now, it feels like the film is a product of its time. It really feels like a Predator movie that would have come out in 2010. It is not the kind of Predator movie that would be released now, especially when you see what Dan Trachtenberg is doing with the franchise. But still, Predators is a very entertaining movie. I really like that all those characters come to this planet and where young predators are hunting them. That was very interesting. And like I said, it's an entertaining Predators movie that I like to watch from time to time. At number 12, we also have a favorite of mine when I was younger, and that's Aliens vs Predator, the first crossover movie. And I always liked these crossover ideas, and I think these movies really live up to what they are doing, what they are aiming for, to go for. Let's just say that. I like this movie a bit more than Requiem because I like the setting of this underground pyramid a lot. It creates this claustrophobic feeling. Also a bit of exploring element is in this movie that I really like. I like the bunch of characters in this one. They are very interesting. Even the final survivor of this movie, I really like that character. And I feel that there is a good balance between xenomorphs and predators. It still feels more like a Predator movie than an Alien movie, but there is more balance than in Requiem, in my opinion. But AVP, I really like this movie. Alright, number 11 we have the only animated movie, and that is Predator Killer of Killers. And I did a review of this one and I really like this movie. I really like the four different stories that are presented, each in a different time period. Like we have a story with the Northmen, with the samurai in the Second World War, and then how they put it all together. Really like the animation style, really like the stories. Like I said, this movie is awesome. And it's also directed by Dan Trachtenberg. But his other two Predator movies are just a bit better. And at number 10 we have his first movie, and that is Prey. Prey was really a nice surprise. The Predator movie, definitely after that 2018 misfire, the franchise was a bit dead, and then we got Prey, and Prey was really an awesome movie. It's like the franchise went back to its roots, and now also in an historical setting, which I really like, with a fun character to follow to her journey in proving herself to her tribe, and then coming across this predator who also look a bit more primal than we are used to. And a lot of great action scenes in this movie, a great story, very similar to the first Predator, so a lot of things that I like in Prey. At number 9, back to the Alien franchise, we have Alien Resurrection. And this has always been a favorite of mine. I really love this movie because it's more like a B horror movie vibe with these very cool characters, these pirates actually. Also nice idea how to bring Ellen Ripley back in this franchise. Even though this movie kinda have some bizarre elements in its story, but I think it's still okay. It's nothing too ridiculous to handle. Third act could have been slightly better, but I never really had much troubles with the third act. I just think this is a cool action sci-fi horror movie with xenomorphs. That's just how I see it, and that's why I like Alien Resurrection so much. At number 8, and in my original Alien ranking this was a bit lower, but when I think about it, I think this was actually a pretty good Alien movie, and that's Alien Covenant. I really like Covenant. This was the final Alien movie that Ridley Scott directed. Maybe he will do another one in the future, I don't know, there are not really plans for that I think. But this is the final of Ridley Scott. I really thought it was a nice step forward in the ambition of Prometheus. Now with xenomorphs, I was with Covenant fully in the story of what the prequels were aiming to do. So I was really hoping for a continuation of Covenant. Fortunately we did not get that. And that's probably why I thought a bit lower of it in my original ranking. But this movie really feels the horror. These xenomorphs are really scary. Like in the first Alien movie, the xenomorph was also scary because you didn't know what it was. But in all the next movies to come, we know what the xenomorph was. And I think Ridley Scott managed to make the xenomorph scary again in this movie. And also some variations of it, like the neomorph, that was some scary monster. A lot of gory scenes in this movie, visually a stunning movie. I like the story, I like how the movie wraps up. I really love Covenant. And that's why it's at number 8. At number 7, we have a special one in this ranking, and that's the first season of Alien Earth, the television show of the xenomorph. And I really like this TV show. There are a bit of elements in it that could have been better, but all in all and in general, this season was just awesome. A lot of xenomorph scenes, interesting things they do, especially in the scientific area with this franchise. Fun characters, a lot of different sets, some great episodes, like the first 3 episodes were amazing, and then the 5th episode was just a top-notch episode. So there is a lot to like in this television show, and I'm very curious what the next season will bring in this story. At number 6, we have Predator Badlands. This is the most recent movie in the Predator movie franchise, and I absolutely adore this movie. It has a great soundtrack. It's very interesting to focus on the Predator as the protagonist of the story, to see his journey, his perspective, also to learn a bit more about his home planet, the tribe he is in, cool fight scenes, interesting story. Like I said, I love Predator Badlands, and if you have seen my top 10 of 2025, it's definitely in that top 10. And at number 5, we have the most recent movie in the Alien franchise, and that's Alien Romulus. Just like Covenant, a visually stunning movie to look at, interesting characters that are played by Cailee Spaeny and David Johnson. I really like the story that they are going to this abandoned spaceship and that they are trying to explore it, and then they come across some xenomorphs. I like the xenomorph scenes, maybe a bit too much nostalgia in this movie, but that's the only issue that I kinda have with Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus is just a fantastic movie that I love to rewatch. Now the top 4 are actually the 4 movies, each the first 2 movies of every franchise. And number 4 we have Predator 2. And I really like Predator 2. Change of scenery, we go from the jungle to a concrete jungle, which was actually very nice, this change. Danny Glover is also a good protagonist. Different vibe than Schwarzenegger, but it still works. I really like that we are in LA during this heat wave. We can actually feel the heat of the heat wave when we are watching this movie. Also cool Predator action. That third act, also a fantastic third act. It's a movie that I initially did not really like for all the changes, but the older I get, the more I like Predator 2 for some reason. So that's why it's my number 4. And number 3 we have the original Alien. What do I have to say about the original Alien? It's a classic. It was a phenomenon, and it still is a phenomenon. The introduction to the xenomorph. And this movie is probably the scariest Alien movie in this combined ranking. And I just really like this isolated spaceship setting of the film. And then there is this alien on board and how they are dealing with it. They have not a lot of means to deal with a monster. So in that regard it's also a very interesting film. And number 2 we have Aliens, the sequel to Alien. And Aliens is just an epic science fiction horror action movie. It's bigger than the original movie, but I really love Aliens. This is a really rewatchable movie. I have seen it a lot of times, Aliens, and I still love it every time I watch it. Great characters like with Hicks, with Hudson, and Ellen Ripley is like the most badass in this movie than that she ever is in the entire franchise. A lot of great stuff in this movie, and that's why it's my number 2. So my favorite movie in the combined Alien Predator movie is the original Predator. And this movie is just one of my all-time favorite movies of all time. If I want to watch an action-packed movie with an alien in it, this is my go-to movie. I really love this movie. I really like how it starts all action-packed, and then they go into the horror area more when they realize that there is a predator watching them, and then this elimination game starts basically between the characters. And also the third act with the one survivor trying to beat this predator is just really awesome. This is a movie that I have watched as a kid, loved it as a kid, loved it as a teenager, and now as an adult I still love it. It's also a great Arnold Schwarzenegger movie without really feeling it like a Schwarzenegger movie. Predator, it's a great movie, and that's why it's my number 1 in this combined franchise. So guys, this was my ranking of both the Alien as Predator franchise. Hope you like my ranking. Always be free to share your ranking of Alien and Predator in the comments. Would love to read that. And if you want to see more rankings of me in the future, always be free to subscribe to my channel. Until the next time.